Alright, so how y'all doing, boys? Hope you're doing well in that. In today's video, finally we have here the 12.4 update notice, and honestly I'm so excited for this update. At this point, the unit that's releasing on this update, I'm as happy as if this were a festival. Honestly, we finally have JORMUNGANDR in the game, and what she does for the game is insane. Basically, the level of ease this character puts on the D raid easily makes it at least doable for so many players. It's not a character you need dupes in, it's nothing like that. Just pulling on this character and having this character is going to make your whole life a lot easier. I'd probably go as far as saying she is a must summon for your account. I know the JP version is probably going to get like a festival or something within the next update, either festival or the slime rerun, depending on what happens. But if you like, I mean, you could wait a couple days just to see what they get and then summon on JORMUNGANDR. It's up to you, of course, but this banner is honestly so good. Finally having her in the game. I've been waiting so long for a unit that actually makes the D easier, and she is finally here. But other than that, we might actually go ahead and have a quick look at her skills. Let's see here. So here she is, the World Serpent JORMUNGANDR. Her first card here inflicts damage equal to 400% of attack on one enemy and restores the HP of all allies by 40% of damage dealt. The second card cancels buffs and stances on one enemy and inflicts damage equal to 400% of attack. The ultimate, which once again you don't really need any dupes in, increases all allies damage dealt by 7% for 2 turns, inflicts damage equal to 630% of attack on one enemy. And last but not least, the passive, the main reason why you'd be summoning for her. In Demonic Beast Icona, battle for 2 turns at the beginning of each turn, increase all allies stats by 30% when 3 allies use 1 or more skills each. All allies will have the effect reapplied. Heroes who use the skills after the effect is reapplied will not receive the effect buff again. Effects only apply once. So really long passive, honestly super confusing. It is a lot easier to actually explain it in game, but obviously she isn't on the global version yet and I don't have a JP account, but that's a quick look, like overview of her. So we'll go back to the patch notes and new chapter of Ragnarok. I did see quite a bit of hype. There are a couple new characters in this actual chapter, so definitely excited to play that one. There's honestly not a crazy amount going on with Ragnarok at the moment. I feel like the characters are always a super hype release, and Demonic Beast is like the greatest PvE content in the game by far. Well, that's at least what I think. I am a big fan of the Tower of Trials as well, especially the old school one, that's for sure. But who knows? New content for Ragnarok, a new artifact set, okay. Let's see, set bonus, increase allies basic stats by a 0.3 for each hero on the battlefield. I mean, it's cool we have the April Fool's cards as like an actual artifact set, but probably not the greatest set in the world. I feel like most of the time you're probably going to be using, like, if you're in the Demonic Beast battle, you're going to be using that set. If you're doing most content, the trio of Troublemakers is by far one of the best sets in the game. Just the flat damage increase is so powerful, and there's other card sets like the healing one, but I doubt we'll be seeing this one an awful lot. New Costumes Fiona. Honestly, there aren't any, don't get me wrong, I really like both of them, especially this one on the right here. I am a really big fan of, but there's no costumes for her that I'm like super happy with. She also has one that's shown off, I think, in the Hawk shop later on in the patch notes, but once again, not a crazy good skin. Numbers above are extra stats provided, yada. New Holy Relic for Margaret. I wouldn't really recommend getting this one, especially since, I mean, I'm just a bigger fan of the OG Ludociel. Once again, here's a character that isn't like a must get for a Holy Relic, but I definitely hold on to it. We do have, you know, characters like Sariel and Tarmiel who could be getting Holy Relics, and even maybe the new version of the Festival King could potentially get one as well, since the deer provides materials for like the fairies and goddess race. So hold on to it. Definitely not the greatest. Maybe when we someday get a Mael, it could be potential, just having, you know, CC is like such a big thing for characters, and Holy Relics contributes so much to that factor, but it could be good. It's at this point in time, I definitely wouldn't invest in it. New bundles, obviously, we're getting all of the ticket bundles for JORMUNGANDR. New hammer bundle. They've been very good value with these bundles they've been releasing as of recent, but I mean, wouldn't really recommend buying anvils, and then that isn't a crazy amount of hammers as well, but if it's something you need, by all means. New system updates, improved for Solris Dungeon ad rewards. Personally, not someone who really watches the ads. I mean, that is pretty decent rewards though. I mean, depending on how many times you watch that, especially for newer players, like the 30 anvils, even the Awakening Stones is pretty good value. And this is something that is absolutely huge, which I didn't even realize until I just skimmed through the patch notes. I didn't realize this happened on the JP version, but we now have a total of 10 set team limit. Like, you can have 10 teams. It's gotten to the point where like having the 5 is so limiting, and it is just an absolute mess. I feel like now you can actually set your teams and you don't just have to constantly be changing and like re-adding them, because I mean Dokkan had something like this as of recent where they went from being able to have, I think it was 10 teams to 50, which is absolutely absurd. Such a good change, and it's not something that's going to break the game. It's not even something that's really going to affect the game in general. It just saves people time when moving between different content. Improved Brawl Match Rule. A time limit has been set in the Brawl matchmaking screen, auto-refreshing the ranks before selecting to match with other knights. Nothing too crazy. I did say this as well. I thought this was something that was always in the game, being able to like see the skills and ultimates. Maybe that's just me, but I mean it's cool that you can actually preview the character without actually getting them. Added a monster unique info for pop-ups. That's cool, I guess. I really hope we don't get the Croc Shell back, because we have had that man so much, and if you don't have Kyo, he can be such a hassle as well. You're almost like forced to do him on lower difficulties sometimes, just because of like how the character's actually built. Added a Night Horse competition select period. Once again, not someone who really cares. Like obviously I do all my knighthood stuff, but let's see. When entering the knighthood boss battle, a UI has been added to notify the knighthood competition selection period. Small quality of life things. They've been doing pretty much small quality of life updates, and like some fairly good ones as well. Like the amount of teams you can have is massive for probably over a month now, like every single update, which is really good to see. They're still touching up on things like that. Improve the organization of the chat notice. Once again, small little things. New login reward hero change. Oh, okay, sweet. So we're getting JORMUNGANDR, and then UR gear for her as well. New events, pretty much just... Oh, okay, so yeah, we are getting the return of Croc Shell. Well, isn't that great? I can not make a video on that. I'm sure all of you guys know how to beat Croc Shell by now. If not, I mean, comment on the comment section down below and I can help out team building, but there are also like another million videos on it. These two costumes here though are honestly huge. Not only does it mean Meliodas and Diane both have maxed out cosmetics, Meliodas finally has his 5th headpiece, which I feel like pushes him up to like top 3 highest CC characters in the game. It was definitely hard competition with someone like the Escanor, just due to the fact he has Holy Relic, but not only do they both have max costumes, but Assault Mode Meliodas still doesn't have his 5th weapon, so who knows if that day will ever come. New Ragnarok bingo event. Some pretty decent rewards down this side. I'm guessing the 2 tickets are for the April Fool's set. Yeah, that's alright as well. Super Awakening coins always really nice. Stuff like that. Number of ticket selectors, how to participate. I mean, we've seen this kind of stuff a million times before. And here it is, yes, Demonic Beast Croc Shell. Here's the other costume I was talking about, which actually at a second glance, it's actually not too bad. I might end up using that, in all honesty. Going over the exchange shop there. Once again, more Super Breaking materials, the place where you'll get the other artifact card, SSR pendants, all stuff you really need. Okay, so that's where you get the headpiece. And I think that just about does it, because once we start getting to the battle events, yeah, I mean, you see the village donation event, we are reaching the end of the patch notes. So battle event, really good first time completion rewards as always, and village donation event, even as an endgame player, I feel like you should always be doing this, unless you already have your whole box like level 90, I'm sure you're gonna have plenty of pendants to spare, but I mean, I still spend quite a bit of money on the game and still have plenty of characters to actually get level 90, but as you can see, any events, pretty much everything with the 2nd anniversary, but I mean, that just about does it for today's video. Super excited to actually have JORMUNGANDR finally in the game. That just about does it for today's video. Please hit the like button, subscribe, really means a lot to me, and I'll see you guys for some more Grand Cross content.